They said we didn't belong here, Jack Reynolds whispered to himself as the icy wind whipped through the narrow alley. Snowflakes clinging to his flannel jacket and stinging his cheeks. The two twins huddled close, their small hands grasping his coat as Ranger, his 6-year-old German shepherd, pressed against his side, ears high and alert, sensing more than he could, the amber eyes scanning every shadow as if reading secrets in the wind. The in-laws' house loomed behind them, windows darkened, cold, and the door slammed one last time with a hollow echo that seemed to push them forward rather than hold them back. Snow crunching beneath boots as Jack led the way to the edge of the property, where a forgotten garden wall jutted into the night. Ranger pawing insistently at a section of frost-covered stone, tail stiff, nostrils flaring, Jack kneeling to follow the dog's guidance, fingers brushing against icy moss until a loose slab shifted, revealing the corner of a worn envelope with his family name scrawled in faded ink. The twins' breaths clouding in the freezing air as Jack pried it open to find a stack of documents that hinted at something far larger than he could have imagined. Deeds, letters, and a key marked with a symbol only his father had ever used. The cold night suddenly alive with possibility, Ranger letting out a single sharp bark that cut through the silence like a warning and a promise all at once. Snow swirling in lazy eddies around them, the air scented with pine and the faint metallic tang of old iron. Jack's mind racing, heart thundering in his chest as he realized the envelope was not just a note, but the first key to a $200 million inheritance hidden away for decades, a secret the in-laws had never known and could not stop, the twins' eyes wide with awe, reflecting the soft amber glow of Ranger's coat in the moonlight. Jack standing slowly, feeling the weight of the night settle around him, yet lighter somehow, as if the loyal presence of his dog and the hope in the children's gaze had shifted the world itself. And in that moment, the betrayal and coldness of the house behind them faded, replaced by the pulse of discovery, the quiet certainty that kindness, courage, and unwavering trust between a man and his dog could uncover miracles even in the harshest winter. The snow crunching under Jack's boots as he pocketed the key, glanced down at the twins, whispered a steady reassurance, and followed Ranger further into the shadows of the garden where more secrets awaited, each step carrying them closer to the inheritance they never knew they were meant to find. The cold biting, but the air electric with anticipation, the story of a Marine, his children, and the dog who had seen the truth beginning to unfold with every deliberate step. Jack Reynolds adjusted the worn straps of his backpack, feeling the cold bite at his fingertips while Ranger padded silently beside him, ears twitching at every faint whisper of wind through the trees, amber eyes alert and searching, the twins holding his hands tightly as they stepped carefully over frost-covered roots and scattered leaves, the early morning sun casting long, pale shadows across the garden path that led toward the old caretaker's shed at the edge of the property, its paint peeling and windows frosted with the first touch of winter. Inside, the air smelled faintly of cedar and damp earth, a lingering warmth from the previous summer sun trapped in the wooden beams, and Jack could feel the pulse of something hidden beneath the floorboards, a presence that seemed to hum softly in the quiet, like a rhythm from the heart of the earth itself. Ranger pausing to place a paw on a warped floorboard, growling gently, urging Jack to examine it more closely, fingers brushing the cold wood until a small hatch revealed itself, a keyhole glinting faintly in the weak sunlight. The twins leaned in, eyes wide, catching the shimmer of dust motes dancing in the air, Jack turning the old key slowly, the mechanism resisting at first, and then giving way with a subtle click, the sound echoing in the small space, and a sense of anticipation lifting the chill from his shoulders. Ranger whining softly as if to say, "Now is the moment." Jack prying the hatch open to reveal a narrow staircase winding downward into shadow, the faint scent of old leather and paper rising from below, drawing them into a place untouched for decades. The twins holding their breaths as they followed Jack down the steps, each footfall resonating against the stone walls, the hush of the world above replaced by a quiet reverence, a feeling that something sacred had been waiting for their arrival. Jack reaching the bottom and finding a small chamber lined with ledgers, letters, and a chest tucked into a corner, dust swirling with the movement of air, sunlight filtering faintly through a crack above, illuminating a scene frozen in time. Ranger circling the room, sniffing, nose close to a stack of documents that revealed names, dates, and properties. Jack reading aloud, voice low, a mixture of disbelief and wonder as the pieces fell into place. The inheritance that had been hidden, safeguarded by the past, now emerging as a tangible promise. The twins whispering questions and exclamations, their breath frosting in the cold air. Jack kneeling to run his hand over the chest, the texture of worn leather smooth beneath his fingers, a sense of connection to generations before him settling into his chest. Ranger nuzzling against him in approval, and Jack realizing that the loyal presence of his dog and the awe in the children's eyes had turned an ordinary winter morning into a threshold where discovery, faith, and the quiet joy of belonging intertwined, a moment suspended, yet alive, where every sound, every glint of dust, and every soft tap of a paw seemed to speak of secrets revealed, and the unspoken promise that kindness and courage could open doors even decades closed. Jack Reynolds took a slow breath as he guided the twins through the narrow chamber, the soft crunch of their boots on the stone floor echoing gently against the walls, Ranger padding alongside with a quiet confidence, nose constantly sweeping the air, tail low but steady, signaling both caution and reassurance, the faint golden light from a crack above casting long, trembling shadows across the ledgers and chests that held decades of hidden history. Jack crouching to examine the papers more closely, noting the precise handwriting of names and figures, the careful markings indicating land, trusts, and accounts, his fingers tracing the edges of each document, the twins leaning in, eyes wide with wonder, murmuring questions in hushed tones that blended with the subtle hum of the room. The scent of aged paper and leather wrapping around them like a protective shroud, a sense of sacred stillness settling into the space. Jack feeling a connection to generations past, each step, each breath drawing him deeper into the story of his family. Ranger letting out a soft, approving whine. As Jack discovered a small key tucked between two ledgers, its metal cool and heavy in his hand, the twins gasping softly, the air crackling with the quiet thrill of revelation. Jack sliding open the corner of the chest to reveal a collection of carefully wrapped parcels, the rustle of paper sounding louder than expected in the silence, each bundle revealing more about the life carefully hidden from sight. A sense of awe filling the room as Jack realized that the careful planning of his ancestors had protected not only wealth but the hope and continuity of family. The twins exchanging glances, understanding without words the weight of the moment, Ranger stepping forward to press his paw against one of the bundles, nudging it toward Jack, as if confirming the importance of his discovery, the soft winter light filtering through the crack above catching the dust in the air, turning it into a golden haze that shimmered across the room. Jack lifting one bundle carefully, finding a series of letters from his father describing the intention behind the inheritance, the reasoning that had guided the family through generations, a sense of clarity and purpose filling Jack's chest, the twins reaching out to touch the edge of a ledger, feeling the texture of history beneath their fingertips, Ranger circling once, then sitting with a calm authority, signaling that the moment was right, Jack reading aloud a passage, voice steady and low, conveying both the gravity and the gentle care of the words, the room holding a quiet reverence, every creak of the old beams and whisper of wind outside adding to the rhythm of discovery. Jack pausing to let the twins absorb the meaning, the weight of legacy and the trust placed in their hands, Ranger pressing his head against Jack's leg in silent affirmation, the chamber suddenly feeling alive with the presence of those who had come before, a harmony of past, present, and the promise of future, the chill of the stone floor fading against the warmth growing in their hearts. Jack realizing that this quiet, hidden place had become a bridge to understanding, to connection, and to the unfolding of the family story in ways that were tangible and eternal, the twins' eyes reflecting both wonder and a newfound sense of belonging. Ranger's amber gaze steady and knowing, and Jack lifting his head, feeling the weight of responsibility, joy, and discovery all at once. Each breath a reminder that they were exactly where they were meant to be, the beginning of a new chapter unfolding with each careful step and gentle movement in the soft, golden light. Jack Reynolds carefully lifted the final bundle from the chest, the rustle of aged paper mingling with the soft hum of winter wind seeping through the cracks above. Ranger circling with precise steps, ears pricked and tail sweeping gently, alert to every sound and movement in the chamber. The twins leaning closer, their small faces illuminated by the golden light filtering in, eyes wide with a mixture of awe and anticipation as Jack unfolded a delicate map, its edges curled and brittle, revealing the locations of properties and trusts hidden across the state, each mark a testament to decades of careful planning. Jack tracing the lines with a fingertip, feeling the texture of ink pressed into aged paper, the scent of parchment and faint cedar filling the space, a quiet reverence settling around them, as if the room itself acknowledged the significance of the moment. Ranger nudging one of the twins lightly, encouraging them to step closer, and the twins doing so with careful excitement. Jack's voice low but steady as he explained the purpose of the documents, the generosity and foresight of his family evident in every word, the chill in the stone underfoot fading as the warmth of understanding and connection grew, the room alive with a quiet rhythm, every creak and sigh of the old building harmonizing with the soft shuffle of Ranger's paws and the twins' whispered comments. Jack carefully set the map aside and opened a small, brass-bound journal tucked beneath the bundles, the pages yellowed and slightly stiff, each line filled with stories of choices, sacrifices, and guidance left for the family to discover. Jack reading aloud passages that spoke of trust, resilience, and the subtle guidance meant to lead him to this exact place. Ranger pressing close, amber eyes reflecting the light, and a sense of comprehension that seemed almost human, the twins absorbing the story with wide, thoughtful eyes, the air around them thick with the weight of legacy and the thrill of discovery. Jack feeling a profound connection to the past, to the family who had carefully protected these secrets, and to the future now within reach, each step and gesture resonating with meaning, the quiet creak of the beams above echoing softly as if acknowledging the unfolding of history. Ranger settling briefly beside Jack's leg, a steadying presence as he lifted a small, ornate box from the corner, its contents shimmering faintly under the light, revealing keys, letters, and a set of documents confirming the inheritance. Jack carefully examining each piece, a slow smile spreading across his face. The twins watching in awe, understanding that they were part of something much larger than themselves. The warmth of realization filling the chamber, the gentle rustle of papers, the subtle shift of dust motes in the sunlight, and the soft, approving whine from Ranger all blending into a moment suspended in time, where every sound, every breath, every heartbeat seemed to celebrate the discovery, the legacy, and the quiet, unwavering loyalty that had led them to this point, a connection of past, present, and future unfolding in the soft, golden glow of a hidden winter morning. Jack Reynolds carefully lifted the final letter from the ornate box, its edges curled with age, the smell of ink and parchment filling the chamber as Ranger leaned close, nose brushing his hand in gentle reassurance, the twins standing on either side, eyes wide, absorbing the weight of the moment. Jack unfolded the delicate paper to reveal a message from his father, written in precise, flowing script that spoke of hope, responsibility, and the importance of family, the winter light from the crack above falling softly across the room, illuminating dust particles that floated like tiny golden specks in the air, each one catching the twins' gaze as they moved slightly with every breath. Jack reading aloud the words slowly, savoring each phrase, the rhythm of the sentences echoing gently in the small space. Ranger's paws clicking lightly on the stone floor as he shifted to rest his head against Jack's knee, the twins leaning forward, absorbing the message that had been kept hidden for decades, a sense of connection forming between the three of them as the story of their legacy unfolded. Jack feeling a warmth in his chest, a blend of pride and awe, knowing that every choice he had made had led to this discovery. The quiet reverence of the room wrapping around them like a protective embrace, the chill of the stone floor forgotten as the significance of the inheritance settled into their hearts. Ranger nudging the envelope with a gentle paw, prompting Jack to turn the page to reveal a detailed map indicating properties, trusts, and accounts meticulously organized, the twins' voices barely above a whisper as they murmured observations and questions. Jack smiling faintly, his voice steady and calm as he explained the importance of each detail, the room alive with anticipation and wonder, the subtle rustle of papers harmonizing with the distant whisper of wind through the crack. Above, every sound adding to the rhythm of discovery, the sense of generations past and present intertwining. Jack imagining the care and foresight his father had poured into securing this inheritance. Ranger's amber eyes following his every movement with unwavering loyalty. The twins' fingers tracing the outlines of the map, their small hands feeling the weight of history and the promise of the future. Jack folding the letters and maps carefully, placing them back in the box with deliberate care, the air thick with the sense of accomplishment, understanding, and quiet joy. Ranger settling more comfortably beside him, tail sweeping slowly across the stone floor, the twins exhaling in a mixture of relief and awe, Jack standing and stretching slightly, taking in the golden light, the soft hum of the winter morning surrounding them, feeling a profound sense of belonging, of continuity, and of the bonds that connected them to those who had come before, every sound, movement, and glance, reinforcing the quiet miracle of discovery. And in that suspended moment, Jack, the twins, and Ranger shared a silent acknowledgement of the journey they had taken together, the trust, loyalty, and courage that had guided them, and the unfolding story of family, legacy, and hidden treasures that would shape the days to come. Jack Reynolds carefully led the twins back up the narrow stone steps, the soft crunch of their boots on the worn edges echoing in the quiet chamber, Ranger padding beside them with deliberate, measured steps, nostrils flaring as he continued to survey the air for unseen signals, the golden winter light from above catching on the edges of ledgers and papers, making them glow faintly. The twins' small fingers brushing against the walls in wonder, tracing the rough textures as they absorbed the gravity of their discoveries. Jack's chest swelling with a quiet pride and an almost tangible sense of connection to his ancestors, each breath carrying the faint scent of cedar and aged parchment, the cold air brushing against their cheeks and mingling with the warmth that had grown steadily within the group. Ranger stopping occasionally to sniff at corners or tilt his head in attentive focus, reminding Jack that the dog had been as much a guide through this hidden legacy as the documents themselves. The twins whispering observations and questions, Jack answering gently, each word deliberate, measured, conveying the weight of knowledge without breaking. The delicate spell of reverence in the room, a subtle hum of wind passing through the crack above adding to the atmosphere, like the building itself was breathing in time with their discovery. Jack reaching the top of the steps and pausing, glancing back to take in the entirety of the chamber, the sunlight streaming through the crack painting the space in gold and amber, Ranger's eyes reflecting the glow, the twins' expressions a mixture of awe and cautious delight, Jack carefully closing the hatch behind them, the soft click resounding like a punctuation mark in the stillness, and stepping into the garden again, snow crunching beneath their boots, the air crisp and clean, the scent of pine and frost filling their lungs, the twins' laughter spilling into the morning, mingling with Ranger's soft panting, Jack feeling the warmth of family and loyalty, the weight of responsibility tempered by the joy of shared discovery, the garden walls casting long shadows that seemed to stretch toward the horizon, Jack guiding them toward the path that led back to the house, the light shifting with the rising sun, dusting the snow in pale gold, Ranger occasionally glancing at Jack with those deep, intelligent eyes, the twins skipping slightly to keep pace. And in the stillness of the winter morning, Jack could feel the threads of past, present, and future weaving together, the chamber and the treasures it held now a part of them, a quiet miracle that would echo through their lives. Every step on the garden path a rhythm of connection and trust, the gentle sweep of Ranger's tail marking each moment with presence and certainty, the twins' voices soft and reverent as they remarked on the hidden wonders they had seen, Jack inhaling deeply, the crisp air filling his lungs, feeling both grounded and uplifted, and knowing that the loyalty, courage, and quiet perseverance that had guided them to this moment had transformed an ordinary winter morning into the beginning of a story that would carry forward, etched into memory and bound by the unspoken understanding that family, love, and faithful companions could reveal truths beyond imagination. Jack Reynolds paused at the edge of the garden path, the soft glow of morning sunlight catching the frost on the pine needles and illuminating tiny shards of ice that clung to the branches. Ranger shifting his weight, ears pricked and tail sweeping in a steady rhythm, signaling both alertness and calm reassurance. The twins clutching his hands tightly, their breath fogging the crisp air as they gazed at the house in the distance, its windows glinting faintly with reflected light. Jack taking a deep breath, feeling the weight of the discoveries from below settling into his chest, a mixture of awe, responsibility, and quiet exhilaration, every detail of the chamber, the maps, and the letters replaying in his mind. Ranger nudging his leg gently, reminding him that the loyal companion had been the guide, the bridge between what was hidden and what was now known. The twins whispering softly about the treasures they had seen, the papers, the key, the chest, the map, each word adding a layer of wonder and comprehension to their morning. Jack leading them slowly toward the house, the crunch of snow underfoot marking a rhythm that seemed to echo the pulse of the legacy they had uncovered, the air carrying the scent of pine, cold earth, and the faint warmth from the rising sun. The world around them quiet except for the gentle rustle of wind through the trees. Ranger pausing occasionally to sniff the air, tilting his head as if interpreting the messages carried by the subtle changes in scent. The twins looking up at him with trust and admiration. Jack feeling a profound sense of connection and gratitude, the memories of his own father, of lessons learned, and of silent guidance flowing through him as he walked, the house drawing nearer, each step a mixture of anticipation and reverence, the morning light shifting, highlighting textures of wood, stone, and frost. Jack thinking about the generations of care, thought, and foresight that had led to this moment, the quiet hum of the world settling around them like a protective embrace. Ranger's presence steadying the group, his eyes reflecting the golden light, the twins' expressions filled with curiosity and the thrill of discovery. Jack pausing to let them take it in, the scene stretching before them as both a promise and a revelation, the snowflakes glinting like tiny stars, the air carrying a soft whisper of history and possibility. Jack inhaling deeply, feeling the alignment of past, present, and future. Ranger pressing close with a gentle nudge, the twins reaching for his hands, the warmth of family and loyalty grounding them. Jack taking the final few steps to the porch, the sunlight warming his face. Ranger sitting patiently at his side, the twins' eyes bright with understanding. And in that silent, luminous moment, Jack could sense the full breadth of what had been entrusted to them, the quiet miracle of discovery settling into the bones of the house, the rhythm of life, trust, and courage carrying them forward, every sound, sight, and breath reinforcing the connection that had guided them to this day. A moment suspended in time where the past whispered, the present embraced, and the future promised the unfolding of their story with clarity, hope, and enduring grace. Jack Reynolds stepped onto the wooden porch, the worn planks creaking softly beneath his boots as Ranger padded alongside, ears alert and tail sweeping gently behind him, the twins clutching the edges of his coat, eyes wide with anticipation as the morning sun climbed higher, casting a warm glow over the frost-tipped garden and the snow-covered landscape beyond. Jack inhaling the crisp, pine-scented air, feeling the weight of the discoveries from the hidden chamber settle into a mixture of awe and responsibility. The house looming before them, its windows reflecting the soft golden light, the quiet rustle of branches in the winter breeze carrying a sense of calm and expectancy. Ranger pausing at the threshold, nose raised, tail flicking as if confirming that the moment had arrived. The twins stepping carefully behind Jack, their breaths misting in the cold air, and Jack pausing for a heartbeat to take in the scene, the culmination of patience, trust, and courage that had led them here. Then opening the front door, the familiar scent of aged wood and faint cedar greeting them, each step inside echoing softly, resonating with the history and memories embedded in the house. The twins exploring slowly, fingers brushing over the textures of the walls and furniture, eyes catching glimmers of sunlight on polished surfaces, Ranger weaving between them, attentive and protective, every sense engaged in the quiet observation of the space. Jack moving toward the living area, placing the bundles, letters, and maps carefully on the worn table, feeling the rhythm of the room settle around them. The golden light painting the interior in gentle hues, shadows dancing across the walls with the movement of the sun, the twins leaning in to examine the documents, whispering questions, their excitement tempered by the reverence of the moment. Ranger, resting his head against Jack's knee, amber eyes reflecting understanding and loyalty. Jack reading aloud fragments of the letters, the tone calm and measured, conveying the depth of foresight and care embedded in the family legacy, each word resonating with the quiet joy of discovery. The stillness of the room punctuated only by the soft creak of beams and the occasional shuffle of Ranger's paws. Jack pausing occasionally to let the twins absorb the meaning, their faces lighting with comprehension and awe. The warm sun streaming through the windows, catching the dust motes in the air, turning them into tiny golden sparks that seemed to celebrate the moment alongside them. Jack feeling a profound connection to the generations that had come before, to the guidance and trust placed in him, and to the responsibility now resting in their hands. Ranger nudging one of the twins lightly, eliciting a soft laugh. The air filled with a mixture of relief, excitement, and quiet. Reverence, Jack standing tall, the weight of inheritance and legacy anchoring him while the warmth of family and loyalty lifted his spirits. Every glance, every touch, every soft sound reinforcing the bond between them. And in that luminous winter morning, the house, the hidden treasures, and the enduring presence of Ranger and the twins coalesced into a single, unforgettable moment of clarity, connection, and quiet triumph, where past, present, and future met in a harmony of trust, courage, and the gentle revelation of what had been long hidden. Jack Reynolds finally set the last of the bundles carefully on the old oak table near the window, the pale morning light streaming through the frosted panes and casting long golden shadows across the room. Ranger sitting attentively beside him, tail swishing gently, ears alert to every whisper of sound. The twins leaning close, faces filled with awe as they traced the outlines of the documents and letters that spoke of decades of hidden planning and careful guardianship. Jack opening one of the final letters, reading aloud in a steady, calm voice that carried the weight of reverence and understanding. The words telling of trust, patience, and the value of loyalty, his voice mingling with the soft hum of the wind through the cracks in the window, the faint scent of pine and old paper filling the space. Ranger nudging Jack gently, reminding him of the silent guidance that had brought them to this moment. The twins murmuring softly in response to the stories within the letters, their wide eyes reflecting the soft amber light, and a quiet comprehension beyond their years. Jack feeling the warmth of connection between past and present, the sense of family, courage, and integrity settling deep within him as he ran his hand over the edge of the chest, the dust swirling in the sunlight like tiny golden motes celebrating the discovery. The house around them alive with quiet history and the gentle rhythm of the morning. Ranger standing and padding lightly to inspect a corner, amber eyes glinting with intelligence and awareness. The twins following him with careful curiosity, each movement and glance a part of the unfolding story. Jack pausing to absorb the entirety of the moment, the weight of responsibility balanced by the joy and gratitude that filled the room. Every sound and shadow a reminder of the journey that had led them here. The sense of anticipation and wonder lingering as they explored the remaining corners, discovering small details of the family legacy, the subtle textures, the faded signatures, the carefully preserved envelopes, the soft golden glow catching the edges of the pages. Jack explaining patiently to the twins, each word deliberate and thoughtful, weaving the lessons of patience, kindness, and trust into the experience. Ranger circling once more before settling at Jack's feet, the twins leaning into the warmth of his coat, the room infused with a sense of peace and quiet triumph. Jack lifting his gaze toward the window, taking in the frost-covered branches and the clear winter sky, the morning sun warming the cold air, every element aligning in a moment of clarity and understanding, the legacy, the family, and the loyal presence of Ranger and the twins all converging into a harmonious whole, a quiet miracle that would remain with them forever, the soft crackle of the wood beneath their feet and the faint whisper of the wind outside providing a steady rhythm to the scene. Jack closing his eyes briefly, inhaling the crisp air, feeling the deep satisfaction and calm that comes from discovery and connection, the twins exhaling softly beside him, Ranger resting his head on his paws, the house and the treasures it held embracing them in a gentle, enduring warmth. And in that suspended morning, the story of patience, courage, and unwavering loyalty reached its quiet, perfect resolution, each of them fully present, connected, and ready to step forward into the unfolding future together. Jack Reynolds stood near the large window overlooking the snow-blanketed landscape, the early morning sun stretching pale gold across the frozen garden, Ranger resting at his side, ears alert but relaxed, the twins beside him, faces illuminated with wonder and soft awe, Jack carefully organizing the documents and letters on the table, each piece telling a story of foresight, trust, and hidden care. The crisp winter air drifting in through the slight crack above carrying the faint scent of pine and aged wood, the gentle light casting long, shimmering shadows that danced across the floorboards and walls, Ranger lifting his head occasionally to sniff the air, his amber eyes reflecting understanding and loyalty, the twins murmuring soft observations and questions as Jack explained the significance of each document, the careful planning of previous generations, the importance of patience and integrity. Jack feeling the warmth of connection and the gravity of responsibility settling into his chest, each breath harmonizing with the quiet rhythm of the house, the soft creak of beams, and the faint shuffle of Ranger's paws, the twins leaning forward, tracing lines on the maps with small fingers, absorbing the weight and wonder of the legacy. Jack lifting a letter that described a property and its intended purpose, reading aloud the words with deliberate calm, his voice carrying the reverence of understanding and discovery. Ranger nudging the letter gently with his nose, as if confirming its importance. The twins exchanging quiet glances, reflecting both comprehension and admiration. Jack pausing to look around the room, the golden light making the dust motes shimmer like tiny stars suspended in the air, the space alive with memory, patience, and the quiet heartbeat of history. The winter sun warming the chill in the air and casting a gentle glow on every surface. Ranger sitting attentively, tail sweeping softly behind him, the twins' eyes wide, absorbing the rhythm and flow of the unfolding story. Jack running a hand along the edge of the table, feeling the texture of wood, the coolness of metal keys, the soft grain of the letters, the room breathing quietly around them, every sound, every shadow, every flicker of light reinforcing the sense of belonging and the harmony of discovery. Jack thinking of the courage, loyalty, and trust that had brought them to this moment, the quiet miracle of patience and dedication now tangible in the letters, maps, and chest, Ranger pressing close, giving gentle reassurance, the twins smiling softly, and in the gentle warmth of the winter morning, Jack felt a deep, steady peace, knowing that the hidden treasures, the lessons of the past, and the bonds of family and loyalty would guide them forward, every heartbeat, every soft rustle, and every glance around the room echoing the enduring rhythm of trust, love, and revelation. And as the sunlight shifted and danced across the frost, the moment held them together, fully present, connected, and ready to embrace the promise of what lay ahead with quiet courage and joy. Jack Reynolds stepped toward the large bay window, the twins trailing closely behind, their small hands clutching his coat with quiet awe, Ranger walking just ahead, nose to the ground, as if sensing the final steps of a journey that had been decades in the making. The winter sun casting long, warm beams across the polished wood floor, dust motes dancing gently in the light like tiny sparks of gold. Jack placing the final envelope and key on the mantel, the edges of the letters catching the sun, and reflecting a soft glow, the room filled with the subtle scent of aged paper, pine, and winter air, Ranger sitting attentively by Jack's side, tail sweeping in slow, contented arcs, ears tilted forward as if listening to the rhythm of the house itself, the twins kneeling beside the stack of documents, whispering softly to one another as they traced lines and symbols with careful fingers, Jack crouching to listen, nodding as he answered their questions in a calm, measured voice that carried both reverence and warmth, the light shifting as the sun rose higher, illuminating the faces of the three of them with a golden clarity, shadows stretching and moving slowly across the floor, the house holding a quiet, almost sacred stillness that seemed to honor the moment of discovery. Jack running a hand along the mantle, feeling the smooth wood beneath his fingers, the chill from the winter morning fading into a sense of calm fulfillment. Ranger nudging one of the twins gently, eliciting a soft giggle, the twins' eyes bright with understanding and wonder. Jack lifting the letters one last time, reading aloud a passage that spoke of trust, patience, and the careful stewardship of what had been hidden, the words resonating deeply in the quiet room. Ranger shifting slightly, pressing his head against Jack's knee, a silent affirmation of the journey and the bond they shared, the twins leaning closer, the warmth of the morning light filling the chamber and reflecting off the frost-laced window panes, the subtle creak of the floorboards beneath their feet harmonizing with the soft whisper of wind outside. Every sound, every movement, every shimmer of light, reinforcing the profound connection of past, present, and future. Jack standing slowly, taking a deep breath, the weight of responsibility balanced by the joy of discovery and the unspoken promise that they were exactly where they were meant to be. Ranger sitting upright, gaze steady and watchful, the twins holding Jack's hands with trust and quiet excitement, the house around them breathing softly, holding its history and the hidden treasures, the golden sun reaching a higher angle, casting a gentle glow over the entire room, the dust and the frost, the letters and the keys, each element harmonizing with the others. Jack feeling the enduring presence of family, courage, and loyalty, the lessons of the past now tangible in their hands and hearts. Ranger letting out a soft, approving whine, the twins smiling with quiet wonder, and in that luminous moment, Jack, Ranger, and the twins shared a silent understanding, a harmony of trust, patience, and the revelation of long-kept secrets. The room alive with the gentle rhythm of time, every heartbeat, every breath, every soft shuffle of a paw and whisper of clothing marking the enduring miracle of discovery, connection, and the quiet promise of a family legacy fulfilled. Jack Reynolds moved quietly through the warm, sunlit living room, Ranger walking steadily by his side, ears flicking at the faintest sound of shifting curtains, the twins trailing closely, their fingers brushing the smooth surfaces of the furniture, eyes wide with awe and the soft gleam of curiosity. Jack placing the letters and maps on a large wooden table near the window, sunlight spilling across the parchment, turning the faded ink into a warm, golden hue. Ranger pausing to sniff at each bundle, as if acknowledging their importance, tails sweeping slowly, the twins leaning forward, whispering softly and asking questions, their voices blending with the quiet hum of the house and the subtle creak of the floorboards. Jack reading aloud fragments of letters from generations past, his voice calm and steady, each word carrying the careful thought and foresight of those who had come before. The twins absorbing the lessons of patience, trust, and responsibility embedded within the words, the house itself seeming to hold its breath as Jack unfolded a final, delicate sheet of parchment, revealing instructions for the future stewardship of the property and the family legacy. Ranger nudging Jack gently, encouraging him to continue, the amber eyes reflecting understanding and quiet wisdom, the soft light illuminating the room, the warmth of the sun and the faint scent of pine and aged wood mingling. Jack feeling the profound weight of connection, responsibility, and the quiet joy of discovery settling into his chest, the twins leaning in, small hands brushing the edges of the letters and maps, absorbing the significance of the moment. Ranger resting his head against Jack's leg, a steady presence and silent affirmation, Jack standing slowly to look out the window at the snow-covered garden and the glint of the morning sun on frost-tipped branches, the world outside calm and serene, each detail reflecting the quiet harmony and order of the legacy he now understood, the gentle hum of winter air and the subtle movement of light through the room reinforcing the sense of continuity and timelessness. Jack guiding the twins to the window, pointing out areas of the property mentioned in the letters, Ranger circling them with measured steps, the air filled with a sense of anticipation and reverence. Jack explaining the meaning behind each note, the careful planning, the foresight, and the thoughtfulness that had preserved this inheritance for them. The twins listening intently, eyes sparkling with understanding, Ranger nudging one of the twins lightly, eliciting a soft laugh, the quiet sounds of the house, the wind outside, and the gentle rustle of paper combining into a soft rhythm that filled the room. With calm and peace, Jack taking a deep breath, feeling both grounded and uplifted by the moment, the warmth of family, loyalty, and courage settling into the space around them. Each shadow, each beam of light, each flicker of dust seeming to celebrate their arrival and the unfolding of the family legacy. The twins holding Jack's hands, Ranger lying close, the house alive with the echoes of past care and the promise of future stewardship. Jack smiling softly, the golden morning light bathing the room in warmth, a quiet sense of triumph, connection, and understanding enveloping them. And in that suspended moment, Jack, Ranger, and the twins stood together, fully present, embracing the continuity, the responsibility, and the enduring gift of loyalty, trust, and discovery that had guided them to this place and would carry them forward into the days ahead. Jack Reynolds stepped onto the sunlit porch, the crisp winter air filling his lungs as he looked out over the snow-dusted garden. Ranger standing loyally at his side, ears high and amber eyes alert to every subtle movement. The twins leaning close to his legs, their small hands gripping the fabric of his coat, eyes wide with wonder and quiet joy. The house behind them bathed in the soft glow of the morning sun, windows reflecting golden light and frost. Jack inhaling deeply, feeling a profound sense of connection to both the past and the promise of the future. Ranger nudging his hand gently, a reminder of unwavering loyalty. The twins murmuring softly to one another, their voices blending with the gentle rustle of wine through the pine branches and the faint crunch of snow beneath their boots. Jack leading them down the stone pathway toward the edge of the garden, the morning light catching on icicles hanging from the roof, tiny prisms scattering rainbows across the snow, each step deliberate, measured, carrying the weight of discovery and responsibility. Ranger pausing occasionally to sniff the air, tail sweeping slowly, the twins observing the patterns in the frost, the intricate tracks left behind by small animals during the night. Jack kneeling to show them how to read the subtle signs, the soft warmth of sunlight on his face counterbalancing the chill in the air. The house behind them silent, yet full of echoes from generations past, the letters, maps, and keys they had discovered now a living part of their understanding. Jack standing again and gazing out at the distant treeline, the snow sparkling under the sun. Ranger shifting to press his head against Jack's leg in a gentle affirmation, the twins' eyes reflecting comprehension and awe. Jack pointing toward the horizon, speaking softly about stewardship, patience, and the importance of nurturing the gifts and responsibilities they had inherited. Ranger circling slowly to inspect the garden, tail sweeping in arcs, ears twitching at faint sounds. The twins following each movement with careful attention. Jack feeling the rhythm of the day, the quiet magic of the moment, every breath and sound aligned with the sense of purpose and belonging. The snow-laden branches swaying slightly in the breeze, scattering tiny flakes that glinted like sparks of light in the golden sun. Jack reaching into his coat to hold the key once more, feeling its cold metal and the weight of legacy. Ranger letting out a soft, approving whine, the twins leaning in to touch the letters and maps one last time, absorbing the history and love that had been preserved for them. Jack exhaling slowly, a mixture of relief, wonder, and gratitude filling him as he gazed over the property. Ranger sitting calmly at his side, the twins holding his hands tightly, the warmth of family, loyalty, and discovery settling into their hearts. The house behind them no longer just walls and windows, but a living testament to courage, trust, and enduring connection. Every rustle of wind, every glint of sunlight, every soft footfall and paw step reinforcing the harmony of past, present, and future. And in that luminous winter morning, Jack, Ranger, and the twins stood together, fully present, feeling the quiet miracle of legacy, the strength of love and patience, and the unspoken promise that their journey of care, trust, and discovery would continue, carrying the warmth and light of family forward through all the days to come.